Title: The Mouth That Wasn't There. From the surface, it looked like nothing. Just a crack in limestone, a few miles outside of town. Too small to crouch through without scraping your pack. No warning signs. No strange smells. No stories tied to it. That's what made it perfect. The company called it Site K47. On paper, it was a geological anomaly, an unusual void detected by ground-penetrating scans. A hollow that shouldn't have existed based on the density of the surrounding rock. They sent in 6 researchers, all experienced, all trained for confined environments. They joked about how the entrance looked like something kids would dare each other to crawl into. But once you slid through the tight throat of stone, the cave opened. Not gradually, suddenly, like stepping through a keyhole into a cathedral. The first chamber was enormous. Stalactites like crooked teeth. The air damp and metallic. Sound carried strangely. Every breath echoed back a half-second late, like the cave was thinking before repeating you. Base, you seeing this? Copy that, K4017. Your depth reading just spiked. They went deeper. The strange thing wasn't the size. It was the structure. The further they went, the larger it became. Tunnels splitting off into arteries. Chambers stacked vertically like floors in a building. Natural formations that looked almost deliberate. Base kept asking for samples. They kept walking. Then the audio started distorting. At first it was static. Nothing unusual for deep stone interference. Then came the sounds behind the static. Clicks, wet shuffling, something like breath but layered, as if multiple throats were breathing in unison. Base were hearing something. Could be wildlife. The transmission cut out mid-sentence. No distress call. No screaming. Just silence. For 2 days, Base attempted re-establishing contact. Nothing. No movement on trackers. No heat signatures transmitted back. The company couldn't afford exposure. 6 researchers disappearing on record would attract attention. So they sent in a tactical retrieval unit. 8 men, fully armed. Assault rifles, night vision optics, thermal scanners, enough ammunition to clear a small war zone. Their orders were simple. 1, recover personnel if alive. 2, recover data drives. 3, contain the narrative. They entered at 400 hours. Helmet cam streamed clean footage to base. Jesus, one muttered as the cave expanded around them. The first chamber was empty, but not untouched. Equipment lay scattered. Sample bags ripped open. 1 helmet cracked down the center. Blood dark and dried, splattered across a rock face 10 feet high. There was a struggle. They moved in formation. The deeper they went, the quieter it felt. Not the quiet of emptiness, the quiet of waiting. The first soldier disappeared without a sound. He was 3rd in line. 1 second he was there. The next gone. No scream. No gunshot. Just a brief scrape over comms and then static. They spun, weapons raised. Davis, respond. Night vision painted the cavern in green grain. Nothing. Then something skittered along the ceiling. Vast. Too fast. They opened fire. The gunshots were deafening in the enclosed space. Shell casings clattered. Muzzle flashes strobed the darkness. For a split second, the light caught it. Pale. Elongated. Limbs too many and bending the wrong way. Its skin looked almost translucent, stretched thin over jutting bone. And its mouth, it didn't open vertically or horizontally. It peeled, like layers pulling back. More shapes shifted in the dark behind it. Then they were on them. It wasn't a fight. It was chaos. Creatures dropping from above, crawling along walls, moving in synchronized bursts, retreating when shot, advancing when guns needed reloading. Screams filled the comms. Base heard everything. Contact left. It took HIM. Watch the CEI static. 4 left. They regrouped in a lower chamber. One of them was bleeding badly from the shoulder. Another had bite marks that looked almost surgical. Then they found him, curled behind a rock outcrop. One of the researchers. Alive. Barely. His beard was matted with blood that wasn't all his. His eyes were hollow and unfocused, but he flinched at the sound of boots. "It's okay," the team leader said. "We're extraction." "What the hell happened down here?" The researcher laughed. A dry, broken sound. "You don't understand," he whispered. "It gets bigger." "What gets bigger?" "The cave." He swallowed hard. "They came in waves. We thought there were 5. Maybe 10. We were wrong." His hands trembled. "There are hundreds. Maybe more. They don't live here." The tactical unit exchanged glances. "Then where?" He looked up. "Below." He described how the creatures swarmed his team. How they didn't immediately kill him. How they dragged bodies away and tore into them in coordinated groups. "They communicate," he said. "Not with sound. With clicks, vibrations. We felt it in the rock." "How did you survive?" "I stopped moving, slowed my breathing, covered myself in blood." His voice cracked. "They don't waste meat. I rolled into a fissure when they were feeding." The soldier with the shoulder wound shifted nervously. That's when the clicking started again. Soft at first, then echoing from multiple directions. Thermals lit up. Not 4, not 10, dozens, surrounding them. They opened fire immediately. The cave exploded with noise. Creatures shrieked, high, piercing sounds that made their ears ring even through helmets. 2 soldiers were pulled upward into the darkness. Another was dragged screaming into a tunnel too small for a human to follow. The leader grabbed the researcher by his vest. "Move." They ran. Bullets ran dry. Magazines hit stone. 3 left. Then 2. The remaining soldier, the youngest, was shaking so hard he could barely reload. "They're hurting us," he shouted. He was right. The creatures weren't attacking recklessly anymore. They were driving them deeper, toward something. The air grew warmer, the clicking louder. The tunnel opened into a vast pit. And below, movement. A mass of pale bodies shifting over one another. Hundreds, maybe thousands. The soldier stared. Then he made a decision. He unclipped the grenade from his vest. "Get behind me," he said to the researcher. "No, for once," the soldier said, voice steady now. "They don't get what they want." He charged forward, firing until his rifle clicked empty. The creatures converged. The grenade detonated. The explosion tore through the chamber. Rock collapsed inward. The pit caved in on itself. Silence followed. Hours later, rescue drones confirmed structural collapse. No life signs, except one. The researcher. He had been thrown clear by the blast. Broken ribs, concussion, half buried in debris near the entrance shaft. He kept repeating the same thing during debriefing. "They weren't hunting us." "Then what were they doing?" the executive asked. The researcher's eyes drifted unfocused again. "Making room." The official report listed the incident as a methane ignition collapse. Families received compensation. The cave entrance was sealed with reinforced concrete and buried under tons of earth. But seismic scans taken months later showed something unsettling. The void was still there, larger than before. And sometimes, late at night, workers reported feeling faint vibrations beneath their boots, like something below was shifting, growing, waiting.